seats. Move it so that you are facing kind of around. Somewhere that you can see each other. Very good. Looks very good. Sounds very good. So, all right. Yeah, I read that I was kind of like the keynote speaker, but I realized I'm actually not going to speak so much. I wanted to focus a little bit on not working in a way, but let's do it together. So let's turn the lights off. I wanted to move these screens, but they were saying it's a little difficult and hard to move them out and open the window more. Can we, turn everything that this projections off. Are there days when I would sit in my little East Village apartment and, in the winter and leave all the lights off, and I would sit there and look out the window as the sun starts to go down and the light would start to change. And I could see, actually I was sitting outside there last night, and the room next door somehow has this orange light, like kind of overall light, and it was really kind of interesting to see how the light outside was interacting with this very orange light inside. Now, I wanted to say that like Duchamp had talked about like this idea of not doing anything, and that he would rather breathe. And in breathing, that one would become euphoric, because when one starts to realize that one is living, that one could start to understand why we're here. So I would like us all to breathe quietly. And so when I breathe, I usually slow my breath down, and I would count from 1 to 10, and then from 10 back to 1. So if everyone would just kind of slowly breathe deeply and go from 1 to 10 and back to 1. We all shared the air that we breathe now together, and I wanted to kind of maybe direct a little bit this idea, like that in terms of like the idea of being together and many, and that I would like us to think a little bit about what we really share. And I think I'm very grateful and happy to be here and to be able to share with all the speakers who were here today and yesterday, their thoughts and their ideas about what it is that each one of them are interested in, what their ideas are, and what we need to think about to move forward, in terms of as the many, right? And I've always kind of like asked myself, like, what is it that I'm doing here? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? And how is it that my being here is going to do anything for anything else that exists outside of myself? So, I think we are all here for, of course, ourselves to begin with. And maybe we are alone. But in that being alone, I think we are able to perhaps understand the others who are also alone, right? And so I think, after 2 days of listening and thinking and talking and discussing, that we come to a place where we we'll go out of here with perhaps a kind of shared, common ground. And what is that? What can that be? I mean, what are we doing here, and what are we going to do with it after we leave this room tonight? I think it's, we've heard a lot, and I would not try to repeat because everybody's said everything I think I would have liked to say. And I think that, maybe I would like to hear what you would like to say, like what you think, and how you would like to think about what we are doing here. To actually think together rather than to just think alone, right? And to talk and think together. So maybe instead of myself just talking, I would like to hear what other people would have to say. So let's start with, somebody.
What I found was the most uniting was Barbara's words about connecting and connectedness. I believe that's what art is about, but I believe that's what politics is about, and it's about humanity. If we are able to connect with art, then we are using our sensitive side, not only our cognitive side. And if we're able to understand why politics is going one way, we're using our sensitive side, our connectedness, and not just our cognitive side. And I believe that's what we're trying to do in schools now. Schools are evolving between the 20th century and 21st century. The classrooms are being organized very differently. It depends on the country. Not everyone is advanced. But connectedness is what's being taught now in schools when we talk about quality of education.
No, it would be great to generate something out of here that doesn't stay here. And again, this idea of how we are making things exciting for a minute, and then we go to the next exciting thing without understanding that there is a commitment that you have to have for things to change. So it would be amazing if something come out of here. It's a lot of work, I'm just saying.
What I liked so much about what Barbara said this morning, she said the task for everybody, because that's something that everybody can do, and that's not so much work, is the person which is in front of us at any point of time, and just be kind. And I think maybe that can be one starting point, is to just, when we go out, take that with us and be kind, and maybe brainstorm about how can we be kind without, it's sometimes it's not that easy to be kind. So maybe that's one thing we could think about.
Personally, I've been surprised to hear philosophy, sociology, scientific discourse, but at no moment has been the economics of the art addressed. And I think it's somehow difficult to approach the concept of political art without this dimension.
We are many, art and the multiple truths. I think truth is a difficult word. Your beliefs can change over time. But I think everyone has a voice. Artists have a very strong way of putting their voice out there, but we all have a voice. So it would be nice to find our voice and find a way to create impact in the world with your own voice.
I was saying today, like, you can't sit up here and claim that you're going to change the world. You need to go down the hill and do it. So I think that, I think that's possible. And I think it's, I think if we're going to talk about diversity, then we really need to, think diversity. We can't just talk about it. We need to be in it. We need to live in it. And you need to go into it. So you can't just sit around and talk about it and think about it and pretend that it's enough to just do that. I think you need to really act on it. So I think that, and in that sense, you're all going to be artists when you do that. And I think that it's possible to always make art without having to think so much about it. You know, I think that for me, I mean, I think when Tanya was saying it's time to, you know, stop this genius idea and to like just kind of in a way just do it, I really think that's part of like what I think is the diversity of what art could be. So there are old artists who have said like everybody's an artist, and I think that is always probably true. You just need to actually think about what that is, you know. I don't think art is going to solve all the problems and make changes, and but I think everybody can. Everybody can do that. Everybody can change things, and everybody can make art. So I do hope like that being here for the last 2 days with such a diverse field of thoughts and ideas and people from so many different places, that we will be able to like walk away from this and to kind of actually start to actually go into it and understand that it's possible to really, yes, to go there, you know. Don't just sit in your whatever comfort place and you know, and I mean, do not stay behind. You have to go forward, and if you you know, if you don't keep moving forward, then nothing will change, you know. I was saying, well, come to Thailand and we will cook and eat, you know, and someone said, well, I don't think I could go there, but I think that that isn't, you know, like there are many places to go. As long as you realize that you are still going to go there, get there, you know, and do it. Yeah, so, yeah, I thank all of you for participating and making and being and making your voice heard, because I think that's probably something that is always very necessary. And I think also it's always very necessary to also listen to what the others have to say, and to listen to it always with the kind of open gesture, open heart, open space, you know, to listen to it as if it was always something you would have a kind of new experience with. And from those kinds of ways of listening and paying attention, that one is able to live with the other, right? To not be afraid to listen, to not be afraid to let things come into your life or let things interfere into your life and let things change your life, because I think in the end that's where we will make a, you know, new place and a new possibility. So, and I hope that, I mean, I know that artists are always open to that, and I hope that we will all be, we are many, and we are going to all be artists. Thank you.